Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with an update video today. Have a bit of a chat about what's going on around the country and also a bit of a chat about some of the comments that were left on yesterday's video. Now I've got to go and do the shopping today for a birthday party. As you know, my son has recently turned 11, so I've got to go and buy stuff for his party later today. 4 or 5 kids coming around and a couple of parents as well, so I've got to organise that. And then tomorrow some of the family coming around for another party. So I have to buy quite a lot of food and drinks. We're going to a discount supermarket and then I'll hit a couple of other supermarkets as well and check out the prices there, because one of the things we spoke about yesterday was the cost of living, whether it's gone up or whether it's gone down over the last year or so. I imagine that it's gone up, but we'll go into the supermarket, do a bit of filming and check out some of the prices there and see if it has gone up or down. So let's go. Now we'll have a quick chat about the cost of living before I hit the supermarket. To be honest, I haven't really noticed a huge change in the cost of living. Some people said that their local supermarket prices have gone up a bit. I've noticed a bit of a change when it comes to fuel prices, especially compared to last year. But remember last year when the pandemic first hit, fuel prices hit rock bottom. And this year, as I said, more or less, they're back to normal. I filled up the other day. I think I paid around €1.26 per litre for unleaded petrol. And last year I think it got down to about €1.10, and diesel was around €1 per litre. But those of course are things that have increased. When it comes to supermarket prices, not really sure, but as I said, I'm going to the supermarket now, so we'll check it out. And another thing that has increased, as we know, we've been speaking about a little bit over the last few months, is electricity prices. They have gone up and I think they're going to go up even more over the next year or so. But let's go and check out the supermarket. So here we are at the supermarket, Supermercados Galivan. We can see some of the specials they've got on, and we'll go inside and check it out. Ham on sale for 145 a piece. Lots of cheese on offer, as we can see. And we have fresh cheese as well here that you can get cut to the size that you want. Plenty of hams on displays as well. Lots of different variety of red meat. Lots of pork as well. Here we have eggs. Bulk eggs, as we can see, lots of beer, lots of different types of beer, and very, very good prices when it comes to beer. Soft drinks as well, and that's basically what we came here for, beer, wine, and soft drink. In the wine section now, the whites, the reds, lots of different types, and now it's time to pay the bill. Okay, so that's the first part of the shopping out of the way. Got most of the bulk shopping done. Coca-Colas, beer, wine, things like that. We also bought a nice cheesecake. We also bought a nice empanada, and the total price, let me just check out here, €102.75. And the beers were very cheap, I think 55 cents a can, so a lot cheaper than in other supermarkets. And because I spent more than €100, they threw in a pack of 24 cans of beer. So good value in this supermarket. So if you go to supermarkets like this, you can find cheap prices, but of course it's getting very, very busy in there at the moment. Wasn't very busy when I first went in, but over the last 30 minutes, things have really picked up in there. So a good supermarket, Supermercados Galivan. I think they're only in this area. You can't find them in other places around Spain, but cheap prices, plenty of things on display, and you can pick yourself up a good bargain. Now let's go to the second part of this shopping adventure, which is Lidl. Let's go. Okay, part 2 of my shopping experience here at Lidl, or Lidl as they call it here in Spain. Not really sure how we pronounce that word in English, Lidl, but here I am, part 2, and I'm going to buy things for the barbecue because the meat selection here is not too bad. I'm planning on putting on a few ribs tomorrow, maybe a big piece of meat as well that I'm going to cook slowly in the Weber, so that's going to be quite tasty, and this is where I'm going to buy the meat. Now I'll just quickly talk about something that I mentioned yesterday when it comes to traveling here to Spain this year. Of course, British people at the moment are not allowed to travel to Spain, apparently only if they are residents. Tourists are not allowed. Somebody said in the comment section that people were being turned away from airports yesterday with tickets to Spain. You can go to Portugal, but you can't come to Spain. And I think that's going to change next week. It's a bit confusing because the tourism minister said last week that as of the 20th, which was yesterday, people from the UK would be allowed to come to Spain, but apparently that is not the case. Things have not changed. So a little bit confusing and difficult messages to understand coming out of the government at the moment. And are British people going to be able to visit Spain without a PCR? That is also the question, because as we know, Spain said it is not going to pay for PCR tests. France, yes. Spain no. Not sure what Portugal's saying on this matter, whether they are going to pay for people's PCRs. Haven't heard anything about that, but it is something that you need to take into consideration if you are coming to Spain this year. Extra costs for PCRs. A bit of an inconvenience, of course, and a hit to the wallet, something like 120 euros, I believe, or between 90 and 120 euros, depending on where you get it done. So a bit of a pain to have that extra cost, and I'm sure some people will think twice about coming to Spain this year. And another thing is that Spain needs to get on the green list. Not sure when that is going to happen, but I read yesterday that the British government is going to review that green list or the amber list or the red list over the next couple of weeks, and maybe Spain will be on it. Who knows? So travel plans for a lot of people still up in the air, unfortunately, I imagine. Now into the supermarket. Okay, shop number 2 out of the way. Time for shop number 3. I have to go to Carrefour, or Carrefour as they call it in Spain, because there were things in the other 2 shops that I just couldn't find. So for example, if I want to do some tacos tomorrow night because I bought a nice piece of meat, going to slowly cook that, break it up, have some nice tacos, and the only place you can buy the taco shells is here. So that's why I'm here. I also need some cilantro, and couldn't find it in the other 2 supermarkets, so going to have to get it here. So what else can I do but hit Carrefour? So let's go. Okay, so the shopping is out of the way. I'm back home again now. The car has been unloaded, and I've got one more thing to do today before I can start editing this particular video, and that is I have to go to what they call here a punto limpio, a recycling point or recycling plant, because I've cleaned the garden of a lot of rubbish that was lying around, and that's the only place that I can get rid of it. So I've got to head down there before I can start editing this video. Now, a few people have also asked me in recent times what the garden is looking like nowadays. You've probably seen it over the last couple of weeks because I've been filming a few videos outside. And as we know, after the snowstorm, there was a fair bit of destruction, let's say. So let's have a look at what the garden is like nowadays. I'll give you a bit of a walk around and show you some of the main areas here that basically are regenerating. There has been a bit of regrowth, some of the things that I cut down, and the garden's starting to look good again, or at least for me, it's starting to look okay. Now this here was one of the main victims of the snowstorm. I thought it was dead, but as we can see, there's a little bit of life coming back down there, a little bit of greenery, a few green shoots, so things not too bad there. And this plant here I actually discovered when I cut this one back, so a bit of a bonus there. Now this area here was also destroyed by the snowstorm. I had to cut it back quite a bit, but we can see there's a bit of regrowth happening there. I don't know if you can see that or not, so happy about that. And then this part of the garden here was also affected by the snow. These ones here, for example, had to be cut right back, but they are growing again. We can see a few shoots coming off the side. This one over here as well, so that's looking good. I've planted a few shrubs, so I'm changing the look a little bit here as well, as you can see. Regrowth on that one as well, which was also cut right back. And over here we have my olive tree, which is the pride of the garden. I'm thinking about planting it in the ground, but I don't know how big it's going to get, so maybe I'll leave it in a pot. But as you can see, the garden has recovered since that snowstorm, and things looking good here in the spring. So that is what my low maintenance garden is looking like at the moment here in Madrid. Fair bit of work to clear everything out. I think there was something like 20 bags of debris, 20 bags of leaves and branches. It took me about 2 weekends to clear it all. Then the council, of course, took it all away, offering a free service because of the snowstorm. So I was happy about that. Now, as I said, I've got one final place to go, the Punto Limpio, the recycling point, recycling plan. So let's go. Now, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but this is a free service also offered by the local council. So you have to take advantage of the free services here because let's be honest, we pay a lot of money in local taxes. So have to take advantage. Hola, buenos días. Que tengo algunas cosas del jardín y tal, y unos tiestos de estos grandes, ¿sabes cómo son?
¿Los tiestos que son de cerámica?
No, son de plástico todo. Aquí mismo, ¿no?
De color marrón, sin tierra y sin nada, ¿vale?
Bueno, es que tiene algo de tierra, entonces, ¿dónde he hecho eso?
Tienes que vaciarlo en escombros, el primero a la izquierda.
O sea, que tierra, escombros y luego plástico en plástico, ¿de acuerdo?
Exacto.
So a fairly simple process and a good service from this local council. So let's get the rubbish out of the car. Okay, so that's the Punto Limpio out of the way. Everything that I have needed to do today, supermarket, recycling, What an eventful day it has been. It's now 1 o'clock. I started at about 10 a.m. this morning, so 3 hours to get everything done. Now I'm going to start to wrap the video up, but one final thing, and that's regarding travel to the EU from countries like the United States. Had a few comments on yesterday's video from people asking about that, and apparently that's going to start sometime in June, of course, with that new vaccination passport, which is going to be the key to allow people to travel to the European Union, countries like Spain, this summer. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. Bit of a different video today. Hoped you liked it. To see what the day today is like here in Madrid, give the video a thumbs up if you did like it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.